So James, might not feel like it today, but cricket isn't all that far away. How's the winter been for the Blaze so far?
It's been good. It's been real good. Obviously a little bit different after Chris Guest departed for pastures new. But no, we've had a productive time of it so far. The staff and players have been able to take up the opportunities that have been afforded to them. Some of the players have been overseas, either in franchise cricket or club cricket or training overseas, which has been good. And we're thankful that we've got some excellent staff that were in support roles that have now been able to move into different levels of support and leadership, I guess, to really help the players through this first part of the winter. I guess once you get after Christmas, you start then thinking the countdown to April and the season starting. So we're very much looking forward to that.
How's that transition been with Chris leaving in September time and Craig due to arrive in a few weeks? How have the rest of the players and staff managed that over the winter?
Well, I think where we've been fortunate is that we've been able to have some continuity. So John Bateson-Clark, who has been our assistant coach for a number of years now, was able to move into an interim position as our head coach. He's been excellent, so we worked with the players from November up until this point. He's therefore led the coaching group. We've also got some brilliant assistant coaches, particular Simon Guy, who looks after our keepers and does some work with the batters. Laura Marsh, who works with our spinners. Andy Pick, who's a bit of a seam bowling institution, I guess, at Trent Bridge, has worked with our seamers through this winter, which has been excellent. And we've also tapped into Matty McKinnon, who is a performance coach for us in the pathway, but given his experiences in the game, he's been able to add some value in our pro environment as well. So yeah, those guys have been excellent, ably supported by Holly in terms of analysis, Holly Armitage, and also what is now a fairly stable and large MDT in terms of sports science and medicine, led by Matt McDonald-Liggins. So yeah, it's been a good winter, albeit of course we're looking forward to Craig arriving. Everything is now sorted for Craig. We've done all the paperwork, which has been quite extensive. He actually arrives on the 6th of February. And it's been great. We have caught up with Craig through this last few months, trying to be really respectful of the fact that he's got a job to do out in New Zealand, and that should be his focus. But naturally, there's been some conversation and some link-ups. It's been great to see the Otago Sparks going so well. They're top of the table in both 50 over and in T20 cricket, which has been brilliant. And you're also seeing a number of their young players who are representing the White Ferns now as well. So Craig, standing in the game, continues to improve and increase, and we can't wait to get him over here.
You've clearly been able to build something over the last couple of years here at Trent Bridge in terms of a culture as well. How important is it that Craig is part of that and buys in and helps to push that forward when he arrives?
Yeah, it's 100% important. We want Craig to also bring his own stamp on things and bring all his attributes towards that. I think cultures are things that are ever evolving. It's not about necessarily standing still. It's about understanding people and caring about people and looking at how we balance being as inclusive and as welcoming as possible. Also, some of those high performing factors that we want to make sure runs through everything. I think we've said it before that when we came across to Trent Bridge, we felt that from the whole club from the outset. Really, we were able to align some of the things that we care about and matter to us as a staff and player group with what all that Trent Bridge has to offer over a long history. And I guess Craig coming in, he'll bring his own personality and own stamp into that as well, just like new players do and other new members of staff. But we also have got a fairly clear idea of how we care about people, how we care about cricketers, what we're looking to achieve as a group, and Craig will come and buy into that, I'm sure.
Your overseas players for this summer are familiar faces in Orla Prendergast and Heather Graham. What are you excited for them to bring in 2025?
I think one of the bits we talked about when we looked at our overseas player options is, with some change in terms of head coach, like a little bit of stability around overseas player impact is important to us. We of course went through all our processes to look globally at the sort of player we want to fit into the skill set requirements that we need. Alongside that, you also look at player character, and we've been really fortunate over a number of years now to build some close relationship with a small number of players that have been great for us on the field, but we also know have got brilliant character and brilliant attributes that they can bring to the whole group. So that was an obvious place to look. We've got to balance the international schedule. We know a number of players who have been with us in the last few years. And both Heather and Orla have got some international commitments across the summer, and therefore we want to make sure we're well covered in terms of having someone in place for all our fixtures. But what we're getting is two brilliant cricketers. We know that because we've seen what they've done on the international stage and we've seen what they've done for us in recent years. But we also know we're getting two brilliant people, which will be great for our group on an ongoing basis.
And some younger faces as well into the squad this year, the likes of Amy Wheeler and Prisha Thanawala and Liv Baker. How have they adapted to being part of that senior setup and I guess progressing through that regional structure?
Yeah, whenever you see players come through the academy, you're going to be really pleased with the work that the academy and pathway staff, the young players themselves, our county partners across the East Midlands have been able to impact into those young players, and they rightly deserve to come onto contract. Their start has been an interesting one. Prisha balancing a final year of education with an under-19 World Cup has meant that she's had to juggle a few things in this early months and stages of her professional career. So we've been supporting them with that. Liv Baker's actually in Australia playing club cricket, including the fixture at the MCG, which was obviously, I'm sure, a really great moment for her. So we've been keeping in touch with her remotely and look forward to welcoming her back soon. And then Amy Wheeler has been around for most of the winter, actually. She went to Spain with the National Counties 11, but was able to be around us for large parts of what we've done prior to Christmas. And she's worked really hard, and we've seen some developments in her. And it's brilliant to broaden the squad, and to have some young players who've come through the pathways is only a good thing for us.
It's another busy summer on the way, isn't it? More fixtures and 3 competitions to compete in this year. Does that come into your thinking when you're preparing for the summer at this stage?
It does. Yeah, putting the schedule together is obviously getting tougher, but it's a good place to be. The players want more cricket. Everyone wants more cricket. It's been the ECB County Cup has been an interesting one just to start to get your head around in terms of what that looks like. The notion of Tier 1, Tier 2 and Tier 3 teams all playing each other at different stages, I suppose for us creates opportunities, hopefully. That combined with our second 11 programme that we'll still continue to run, along with a full first 11 programme in terms of the Blast and the Metro Bank 50, means it's another busy summer, and we've got to make sure we balance the well-being of our players along with the desire to be as competitive as we can be on the field. And we make no bones about the fact that for us, winning those competitions is a clear aim of ours. We put a lot into developing our people as people, developing our people as cricketers. We want to see those players go through the pathway and play for England one day, but we think the best way to do that is to be part of a winning group here, and we think we can balance all those things to produce great results for all the players here.
And more games out here as well this summer, 7 at Trent Bridge.
Yeah, that's evolved nicely from when we first landed in November 22. The number of games here have grown. That comes from a willingness from everyone at the club to make this feel like home. The pavilion development will help with that, with more changing room space and dedicated facilities for both male and female cricketers. More double headers here, which is brilliant. And more time on Trent Bridge can only be a good thing. We know across the East Midlands that grass and access to high quality facilities is a challenge for everyone. Men's cricket, women's cricket, counties across the full East Midlands, and therefore, in this early stages of the evolution of Project Darwin, we felt continuing some strong relationships with neighbouring partners to make sure we're getting access to the absolute best facilities as part of some exciting double headers elsewhere in the region could only be a good thing as we continue to evolve Trent Bridge, as we call home, and how we make that happen alongside what is a jam-packed schedule for everyone in the game, really.
Busy summer ahead, and we look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.